The current situation is that the Senate has passed AGOA renewal for the next 2 years. It still has to go to Congress. It still has to go to the White House. We do anticipate that it will possibly go to Congress in September, late September, and then to the White House immediately after that for ratification. Our view is that we should celebrate the progress that we've made, the fact that on a bipartisan basis, all parties supported the renewal of AGOA and the inclusion of all countries that have been part of it. And of course, there's still a bit more work to do in Congress and a lot more work to do in the White House. We anticipate to have a delegation there in the next few weeks on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. The team would go to both Washington, D.C., engage the White House and Congress, but also going to New York to engage in the work of the United Nations General Assembly.
Minister, on the issue of the tariffs, where are we with Washington?
Well, we've submitted proposals on an agreement on reciprocal tariffs to the U.S. We are awaiting their response in this regard. That constitutes part of the discussions that we're having with them to say how do we get to a point of agreement. One of the areas that we needed to resolve with them is that we're part of a customs union, the Southern Africa Customs Union, and therefore, because we have a common external tariff, it is important to engage as SACU. The U.S. has said no, we would want to engage with individual countries, in particular South Africa, and that has been one of the complicating issues in our engagements. We continue to engage with them to reach understanding. We had a meeting of the ministers, the Council of Trade Ministers of SACU last week. We reaffirmed our position that our reality is that we have a common external tariff, but that to the extent that we need to continue to engage, South Africa would lead the engagements, and if and when necessary, we would take our counterparts with us in our engagements with the U.S.
And finally, Minister, we have learned a hard way. We have learned a hard way as the country in terms of the external factors at times in relation to trade. Lots of lessons, whether you look at the war in Ukraine, the Middle East, and the new U.S. administration when it came in with the tariffs and that confusion whether AGOA will be renewed. Are we as a country looking at alternative markets so that we are not found wanting? Should there be other external factors?
Certainly, we're looking at alternative markets. We've been working on alternative markets. We are engaged in trade negotiations to finalize preferential trade agreements with a number of countries, including an agreement with Canada, an agreement with Switzerland, an agreement with the UAE, Saudi Arabia. We engaged in negotiations with India as SACU. We also engaged with China in relation to the implementation of the zero tariff proposals that they've given us. We were there recently. We did engage on what the next steps are to ensure permanence of the arrangement that we've entered into. But we do value current trade partners. We think that as a country that's nonpartisan, we should continue to work with trading partners across the board, but our reality is that we also need to de-risk in instances where there's volatility in the trade environment, and we're very conscious of that, and we've put in a lot of effort. I mean, you would see that as a result of these negotiations, our trade on agricultural products has increased in China. We've looked at various other markets for access to market, but we've said, for example, to China, to the UAE and others, it's important that we improve the quality of trade. So currently, the bulk of our trade is on primary products. It's on minerals and agricultural products. And our engagement now, we've given the Chinese a set of 100 products that seek to increase the quality of trade that we have with them. So it's not just about access, it's also about the quality of trade that we have.